Like, this is truly impressive. It's truly impressive. Prompt: photorealistic close-up of a video of two pirate ships battling each other as they sail inside of a cup of coffee. OpenAI today introduced Sora, our text-to-video model. Sora can create videos up to 60 seconds featuring highly detailed scenes, complex camera motion, and multiple characters with vibrant emotions. For those of you who don't know, OpenAI is like the artificial intelligence generator, basically, that's at the forefront of AI, I would say, or at least like mass commercially adopted AI. Here's a prompt for beautiful snowy Tokyo City that is bustling. The camera moves through the bustling city street, following several people enjoying the beautiful snowy weather. I'm not going to lie, I feel like they wrote the prompt with AI as well. This seems like such a chat GPT prompt. This is so funny that they are like, I swear to God, these guys, the stem cells that make this stuff, do not have a singular creative bone in their body. It literally feels to me like the dudes that they have operating this stuff are just like, they'll die if their brain works. If their right side of their brain even activates for like a single second, if a synapse fires on that side, they die immediately. Like, they are so goddamn allergic to like any kind of creative endeavor. Every part of this, it feels like, is owned and operated almost entirely by stem cells. Okay. And I know I'm on Twitch. I'm surrounded by comp sci nerds. I'm surrounded by stem cells. And it blows my mind how these guys don't recognize the value of having or hiring actual artists, or hiring like actual people with some kind of legitimate interest in the arts to like maybe massage it so that maybe zhuzh it up. You know what I mean? One guy, that's all you need. Like maybe two guys. Okay. Get one creative person. Jesus Christ. Anyway, but here's the prompt and here's what they made with it. The footsteps are a little weird. That person, what the is like seemingly walking on top of the cars, like come in and out, they leave. I mean, there's obviously some issues still. This is pretty phenomenal that they are able to do this though. Like the cars are not going on the road. They're going on the snow, and then they just get lost, if you noticed. Like there's like some clipping happening there as well. Why are these cars driving on the snow is a good question. Nitpicking like cinema sins? Come on, brother. This is not nitpicking. Like, this is not the fully fleshed out product. It's not there yet. The perspective is a little weird, obviously, especially with like, see, look, like this is not what it would look like. This person is like really tiny, or really massive rather. Look at how massive this person is. Like literally almost as tall as the trees. Like this is just completely and then they're incredibly tiny. Look at how tiny they became. They went from being giants to being tiny little babies, in comparison to the right side, where the right side bar is incredibly high. See, look, all of this you can probably see with your eyes and like kind of recognize that it's weird, but every single thing that I just described to you is basic fundamentals for art. If you have taken any kind of two-dimensional design class, anything, any introductory art course, okay, you will learn that the perspective box that you're supposed to be putting at the center here in the actual imagery is completely. The perspective on this is almost as Hitler's art, okay? Someone also said that it's doing Hitler. Exactly. You can draw. Yes, I used to be a big nerd, and I spent every waking moment drawing, and I wasn't very great at perspective. I was as obsessed with the male physique as Michelangelo. Totally get where he was coming from with how much he loves like the musculature of man and like the distorted positions that he puts his sculptures in. For sure that like I mean, it's very gay. It's gay as. Let's continue. So there's a lot of issues here. There's a lot of issues here with the art, but like obviously this is still, you know, it's still pretty crazy impressive. Oh, I didn't realize. I thought this was a bar. It's not a bar. It starts off like it's a bar, unless they're like walking down a hill. It looks like it's a bar, and then all of a sudden it's no longer a bar. It's just a second tent or something. Yeah, people are disappearing. Cars are disappearing. The perspective is like completely f***ed up. Go to the actual website to see some other good examples. Yeah, capabilities, safety, research. The tweet that they used to promote this is pretty funny though. Is this a deep cut? But people understand that, right? Like when I say this, I feel like I'm going to get like every single blue checkmark nerd going to be like, dude, you hate AI because it's going to, get you out of a job or something. At this point, it's like, even if I have a completely correct take, I always am going to run afoul of the sweatiest losers online that will either A, misunderstand or misinterpret, or B, just, revel in their stupidity. So as an art nerd, I'm dying right now, lol. If you're an art nerd, you know exactly what I'm talking about with respect to the perspective issue here with the AI model, like however they're training it. And you know what I mean when I talk about like Hitler's art. It's funny because like Hitler's interest in art or his like artwork in general is so elementary. I don't know how else to describe it other than like it's exactly what every artist that when they first started, it's all of the issues that they ran into, like then and the reasons why they had to like possibly even trace direct lines to make sure that the perspective fit early on, even if they hated it. Some people get it, some people don't. You know what I mean? This is the one I'm talking about. This is a great example, okay? What the hell is happening? Are these windows? Why are they going into the ground? The moment he goes into like where's that one where it's like the stairs? Oh, Hitler's paint perspective. Here, this is the one I'm talking about. It's just like the window is like covered by the stairs out of nowhere, and it's like, where are you looking at this painting from? Like, what's the perspective? This is the one I was thinking of. Yeah, the courtyard. If you're in film school, I suggest you pivot to salt mining. That's good. The Sora thingy is like stuff you can generate for YouTube channels that already use things like AI titles and AI voiceover. Yeah. I mean, it's great to make like B-roll over. It's actually huge. It's actually huge to make B-roll with, okay? That's just the reality of the matter. It completely destroys like people who film stock footage, for example. It legitimately undermines a massive part of the production, the production, right? However, having said that, it's still kind of dog shit. And if you were to make this, if you were to put this in a movie, like most people would be like, what the f are you doing? It has come a long ass way from this though. And that part is true because this was like literally a couple months ago. This was only a couple months ago. This chaotic video is from only a couple months ago. And you still see like even, or maybe like a couple, no, I would say like less than a year ago. Someone said 2 years ago, but I don't think so. I think this is less than a year ago. And then there are all those like versions of like Mid-Journey ass videos that people make that unironically are just like, it's always like the muscles are like moving in different ways and in different directions and stuff like that. And now look where OpenAI has brought AI prompted videos to. I think a lot of what is wrong with this is that once again, even like the people who write the prompts, like you give this tool to someone with like at least a little bit of like an art degree and a little bit of understanding of art, they can use it to tweak certain parts of the script or something like that. But I do feel as though like this in and of itself, I don't know. It's just like so basic. Like the cuts are weird. As a 3D artist in Hollywood, I can confirm as a computer scientist's wet dream to not need an artist. I know. It always feels like they just want to make sure that there's not a single creative soul that touches this stuff. I will say this much. Once again, of course, all art is derivative, but also what makes art actually art is that a human makes it. I will forever stand on that. Okay. And the irony, in my opinion, is that in order to script this or prompt it, you literally have to make it as mechanical as possible, which literally takes away from the art of it all. And the technical way that you have to write a prompt and script it out and the limitations of the AI itself make it something very different. What do I mean by this? Like the limitations of the AI is that it is only a combination of all the things that existed before it. Now you can take all of the things that existed before it and like try to make something new out of it, but that's not the point of AI at all. The point of AI is to replicate. The point of AI is to duplicate. The point of AI is never to innovate and create something new. Therefore, I still believe that like the human component is incredibly important. That's not true whenever I talk about AI art, everybody gets mad at me because the art people get mad at me because I say this is going to be a tool that artists can utilize in the future. And then they get mad because they're like, well, f you, this is like replacing my work. And then I also say that, you know, art is about imperfections. Art is about like mastering a stroke. Art is about like putting your humanity on paper in a different medium and an expression, right? And then the stem cells get mad. They're like, you're wrong, actually. This is so much better than what artists could do. The more I see examples of AI art, the more I realize it's not meant to be observed. The AI designs will always look good at first glance, but if you want to seat with it and take it in, then it falls apart. I think it shows that this man-made product in mind, not aesthetic pleasure. No, I do think personally that obviously the leap that it went from like April of last year to what we are seeing in front of our eyes, like that's massive. The point of art is not simply to nail the realism, okay? That's the issue. A lot of people that do not have any kind of background in the creative fields see this as a wonderful opportunity to just like eradicate any kind of collaboration with other humans in the creative fields. I have always maintained the balance that I am always going to be an advocate for new technological innovations while simultaneously being simultaneously saying that the thing that shackles us is capitalism. It's the distribution of resources and it's the distribution of profit, or it's the creation of profit as a standalone interest from those who stand to gain the most, those who are the capital owners. So I get that. All matter of technological innovation is used, unfortunately, to eradicate entire sectors, make it more efficient. And there's two ways to go about that. If it wasn't for profit margins at the end of every quarter, then you could actually eradicate the time that many workers spend on the craft so they have more time for themselves while still simultaneously making the same amount of money, or even more money, as a matter of fact. However, we don't do that under capitalism because the capital owner wants to extract the most amount of surplus value. So they use AI and everything else, every technological innovation to do that. AI is not a positive development. Yes, it is. You are wrong. All matter of technological advancements in that field are good. It's a good thing. The problem is not AI or technological innovation. The problem is capitalism. That is ridiculous to say AI is not a good thing. It's ridiculous. Capitalism is what makes AI and every matter of technological innovation a bad thing. That's why productivity has skyrocketed since the 90s, and yet wages have not kept up with that. Why? Well, because of technological innovation. Technological innovation makes it so that what 10 guys used to be able to do can now be done by 4 guys. Now, in that situation, you can do one of two things. You can still make the 10 guys that you have hired increase the output and therefore increase the amount of value that they bring, the amount of surplus value that they create that they can now utilize themselves, right? Maybe higher wages. Or you can make it so that if you want to maintain the output the same, you can say, well, you know what? You have 10 guys here, and now 4 guys can basically do the job of 10 with the new technological innovation that we have. So we are going to reduce the amount of hours that the 10 guys are working for the same pay, and the output remains the same. But the third thing, and this is unfortunately what we end up doing, is to fire 6 of the guys and make the 4 guys do the work of the 10 for the same exact price point. All matter of technological innovation can be used to displace the existing workforce, or it can be used to lighten the burden of the existing workforce. It is the economic organization of society that makes it so that we displace the existing workforce. So I will never sit here and tell you that technological innovation is a bad thing, because it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. What's bad is the distribution of power and resources under a capitalist organization of the economy. So why celebrate the thing we know is going to be used to hurt us, even if it could be good? Because the most powerful capacity of man, in my opinion, is our capabilities of adapting. What that means is you are, in the next 10, 20 years, going to look back and go, man, AI is so sick. I can't even imagine a world without it. At which point you will not be thinking about the displaced workers, even if you yourself were displaced in some kind of way. It's inevitable, okay? It's going to be a part of your lives regardless. Anyway, let's watch more of the Sora videos now. Let's look at more of this. So we watched this already. Yeah, this is still a tremendous leap from where this was only a year ago, and I do recognize that, okay? You have to recognize that. I do. What the perspective is so busted though, even in something like this. Prompt: a gorgeously rendered papercraft world of coral reef rife with colorful fish and sea creatures. This could be the holy shit moment of AI. OpenAI has just announced Sora, its text to video AI model. This video isn't real. It's based on a prompt of a cat waking up his sleeping owner demanding breakfast. Cat's got 5 legs. If something that a machine made can make you go at first glance, oh my God, is this real? Then it's incredibly impressive. Every single one of them has a shit ton of issues, by the way. Every single one of them. Issues with perspective, issues with clipping, issues with assets like going nowhere. Obviously. Like, this is truly impressive. It's truly impressive. Prompt: photorealistic close-up of a video of 2 pirate ships battling each other as they sail inside of a cup of coffee. A young man in his 20s sitting on a piece of a cloud in the sky reading a book. Look at how wonky this one is. Even the Sora mistakes are mesmerizing. What the just happened? This one was specifically chosen to show mistakes. Dude, you want to know something? Like, this is a specifically broken one, right? That they showed. It is a testament to how good the program is that, like, when you look at it, you're like, what the is wrong with it? Like, your brain, when you first look at it, is not like trained to think this is AI. It's trained to think this is a real footage and there's something wrong with it. Does that make sense? Like, it's a little bit unnerving when you think about it because your brain is like, what is happening? This is not supposed to happen in the real world. Prompt: historical footage of California during the gold rush. Like, that's incredible, dude. Some of this stuff is incredible. That's terrifying. Holy shit, dude. Prompt: basketball through hoop, then explodes. Oh, the basketball clipped through it. Weakness: an example of inaccurate physical modeling and unnatural object morphing. Prompt: the camera follows behind a white vintage SUV with a black roof rack as it speeds up a steep dirt road surrounded by pine trees on a steep mountain slope. Dust kicks up from its tires and its sunlight shines on the SUV as it speeds along the dirt road, casting a warm glow over the scene. The trees on either side of the road are redwoods with patches of greenery scattered throughout. The car is seen from the rear following the curve with ease, making it seem as if it is on a rugged drive through the rugged terrain. The dirt road itself is surrounded by steep hills and mountains with a clear blue sky above with wispy clouds. The model has a deep understanding of language, enabling it to accurately interpret prompts and generate compelling characters that express vibrant emotions. Sora can also create multiple shots within a single generated video that accurately persists character and visual style. New York City submerged like Atlantis. Fish, whales, sea turtles, and sharks swim through the streets of New York. This one is incredible, by the way. A golden retriever, literal golden retriever puppies playing in the snow. Their heads pop out of the snow, covered in. The current model has weaknesses. It may struggle with accurately simulating the physics of a complex scene and may not understand specific instances of cause and effect. For example, a person might take a bite out of a cookie, but afterwards the cookie may not have a bite mark. The model may also confuse spatial details of a prompt, for example, mixing up left and right, and may struggle with the precise descriptions of events that take place over time, like following a specific camera trajectory. Prompt: step printing scene of a person running cinematic film shot in 35mm. Weakness: Sora sometimes creates physically implausible motion.